What's up, y'all? NRW Nerds Rule the World, back for another week of entertainment picks. I'm Kuya P, and I'm joined as always by my pal Heather Hurt. How are you, Heather?
Good.
Spooky
Good.
season is in full effect. We're about halfway to Halloween for the month of October. What have you been watching? As we always do. Any spooky showings you've been screening? I have a few that I watched over the weekend that I'll tell you about in a sec.
I actually, for some reason, we just haven't been watching that much horror stuff. Like my husband and I will be like, "All right, which horror stuff are we watching this week?" And then it's like Agatha. Okay, we finally did. Usually, we start our month with Halloween Town because I have a Halloween village that I haven't been able to put up because I have kittens that like to demolish everything.
I understand that.
But we didn't even start that. We did that this weekend. This was the first time we did it. We did finally finish we usually don't go through the entire Friday the 13th franchise. But this year John started it on September the 13th. And we finally finished that. So I guess that's spooky-ish. Wrong holiday, but still spooky-ish.
Yeah.
What else? I did watch Die Alone, which comes out this week. I have an interview with the director and lead actor. In that film, it's a romance zombie movie. It's the best way I can put it without giving too much spoilers. Definitely check out my interview. That'll be up on the channel soon. Film comes out on the 18th. Other than that, just been watching a lot of anime. I don't know why we're not watching spooky stuff. Like it's all on our calendar, and we're just like, it's like, what movie do you want to watch? Oh, and then we'll like decide which movie we want to watch, and then we just won't. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but to try and get us back into the mentality, I did go pick up my pumpkin. I don't know her name yet, but she'll definitely be named before I carve her up and cut her and turn her into pumpkin puree because I'm a naturalist and believe that pumpkin doesn't come in a can. You make it. So
Okay. So you definitely utilize every part of it when you cut it up.
oh yeah. I make multiple types of pumpkin seeds. My husband loves pumpkin seeds. So I've made buffalo ranch pumpkin seeds, lemon garlic pumpkin seeds, garlic parmesan pumpkin seeds, and I've done sweet ones. So I've done like cinnamon sugar pumpkin seeds, like a chocolate s'mores pumpkin seed. I
Interesting.
do all of it.
Interesting. Okay, I dig that. I like that. I like making use of that because a lot of people just, cut up pumpkins and just throw away the innards and like whatever. That come on, like
Yeah.
it's something we eat as well. Like make use
Mhm.
of all of that. So
Absolutely.
that's dope. That's dope. Me, as you know, beyond the normal screeners that we have to check out for our coverage and everything like that, I did dig into the Terrifier franchise. I
Hmm.
will be honest. We know the popularity of it. We just had Terrifier 3 drop last week, which we picked, and I'm guilty of not having seen any of the Terrifiers. So I remedied that by watching All Hallows Eve, which is where they debuted the initial Terrifier, because initially it was like two set of short films that they put into this All Hallows Eve film. So I watched All Hallows Eve, so it gave me those original two Terrifier shorts. Then I watched Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2, and I was hoping I'd get in Terrifier 3 over the weekend, but I've been caught up. I may later this evening, but I have a lot to edit, as you know. So hopefully soon I can check that out and be all fully caught up on the Terrifier franchise. I will say uh it fulfills that slasher but there's not really much to it.
No, it's nice and simple.
Thornton's very good in the character. Just the there's funniness and there's hilarity compared to like your Michael Myers. At least you're getting more emotion out of your slasher,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
that works, but it is, you know, nothing different, I would say, in the genre space,
No,
if you will. But definitely a worthy part of the slasher space. So I'm a fan of Terrifier, I would say. And I'm very
absolutely.
curious on this new one that a lot of people are saying. And as you know, as was also reported, people are throwing up and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, I'm very curious to see what they're talking about. But yeah, I'm caught up on the Terrifier, and it's nothing different, but also clowns are pretty scary, and they fulfill that in this, and it fits with the slasher space. So shout out to Thornton and Leon and all the Terrifier fans out there. I'm in there. With all of that. So I dig the vibe and I can understand the vibe. So let's get into a horror thriller, if you will, with our picks this week, Heather.
Sure.
With the top one that I'm gonna come out with the gate with, and the other two, little depressing, little emo, but I thought quite good films. And sometimes you need to check your emotions sometimes and just feel the emotions, get a good cry out, and then move on with the rest of the world and feel those feelings. So let's get Smile 2 out the way. You ready to take Smile 2?
Sure.
Let's go.
I need you to listen to me. Something really bad happened. You remember Louis Fergoli?
From high school?
I went to his apartment. But when I showed up... Louis?
No, get away from me! What?
He was smiling at me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sky Riley, you are in the middle of a big world tour.
You okay?
I keep seeing this face everywhere.
This thing is a parasite. You witnessed a death. Now it's latched onto you.
911, what's your emergency?
I've traced the string of deaths to you. Nobody has survived longer than a week.
Sky, pull it together and get back out there.
No, I will not let this thing use me.
How do we stop it?
We need to kill you first.
What? We have to end it. No matter what. You're not in control.
I need to stop it, but I don't know how.
All right, Heather, are you smiling that we have a new Smile film?
I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I actually was pretty excited before, and then I was talking to my husband about this. One of the great things about a conceptually different film like Smile, that kind of gave us a breath of fresh air when it came to the thriller, and because it's technically a slasher, sorta. It's the demon slasher concept, but we're doing it to ourselves, and it's psychological. But there's something really great and inspiring about that. And it's cool from like a global concept where whatever this demon, whatever this is, if you've seen it, I just don't want to give it away too much. So, but anyway, when you go, it's cool that it's trying to get global. It's trying to go in through her to get to the entire world, right? Through this mega pop star. And at the same time, I'm also, putting on my skepticals and like, do we really need to grow these franchises? Like do we need a Smile 2? It was so innovative. It was so different. It was so good. And it was really fucking jump scary. Like it gave some good jump scares. The question comes, do we need to replicate it? Do we need a larger scale? Because the small one it also looked a lot smaller budget. Like they were trying to create kind of an indie film in a maximized capitalistic kind of way. So ever since him and I had that conversation, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Like I'm going to watch it because I really enjoyed Smile. Smile's a great film. But I'm not sure about 2.
I can understand that. Yeah, Smile, the OG one was great. And I like it didn't need a sequel. It stood alone. So I understand and agree with all those points. But this trailer and the previous trailers we gotten, like, wow, it feels like they can expand it to a degree. So whether or not it pays off, we'll find out. But I'm definitely going to check it out. I actually, scheduled for a press screening tomorrow as of this recording. So I'll have a review pretty soon up. But yeah, I love that dancer scene.
Yeah,
That was
absolutely.
really cool. Like they did some cool choices, and I love that the press campaign, they're kind of bringing back people in various areas just smiling at people. Although I would probably punch that person in the face because like that's damn scary. But effective, whether or not it'll pay off and it's needed remains to be seen. I agree with you.
And we've seen a lot with some of these mega PR campaigns. Pearl is a great example. We didn't for Pearl, we didn't need that. They did this huge, incredible campaign for it. And it was just like the movie ended up being
Yeah.
compared to the rest of the franchise. And I'm like, I would rather, like, as a marketing human, I do marketing professionally. Sometimes putting your dollars somewhere like that, it can also overhype something so much that people have an expectation.
Yes.
Don't overhype. Don't use your marketing money to overhype. Use your marketing money to create a underlying tone so that people can go in and be like, what the hell am I walking into? So
Definitely. All right. Definitely agree with you, Heather. So Smile 2 is hitting theaters. Probably the biggest film that I know a lot of people are looking forward to this week. Hitting theaters. The other two, like I said, get ready. It's going to make you cry, y'all. But really good films. And hopefully, the people that vote for reward season, which I'm one of those guys. A couple that I'm looking at because it's just brilliantly acted. Well done story, very interesting, very emotional. Let's check out this first one coming at us from Roadside Attractions, Heather, and it's called Exhibiting Forgiveness. Here we go.
Shadows on the wall. Noises down the hall. Life doesn't frighten me at all. Mean old Mother Goose. Lions on the loose. They don't frighten me at all. Dragons breathing flame on my counterpane. That doesn't frighten me at all. I go boo, make them shoot. I make fun the way they run. Life doesn't frighten me at all.
Mama Joyce! Oh my God!
Hello.
I ain't seen you for 15 years, but now you want to be somebody's granddaddy? You somebody's daddy now?
I don't want him to hear this. Listen, I need you to speak to him. I need you to talk to him.
No, he has changed.
He ain't changed.
It's just gonna follow us home if you don't deal with it here.
Let's get it.
He gave me you, Terrell. He was my first love. He was my first love.
Hey, you got flaws, Terrell. Ain't you got flaws? I'm not the same man you used to know before, Terrell. That's what you said, right? Why are you still making excuses for him?
If you don't forgive others of their past sins, then you can't be forgiven.
Have you asked yourself once, one time, what's best for us? For him, for your grandson?
This ain't about him. It's about Mom.
What we do, what we do, brick by brick, that's how we move.
I put it on canvas so that I could hold it by the throat.
Foundation built with bricks that we were never given.
All right, dropping this week, Exhibiting Forgiveness. I had the pleasure of chatting with writer-director Titus Kafar, who this story is semi-based on his life. He initially was going to do a documentary about his life experience, but then went this narrative route, and kind of excited he did. I love documentaries, but this was just a brilliant script. Some brilliant actors, Andre Holland, John L. Jelks, Anjanou Ellis Taylor. I Andra Day. Outstanding work by all of these performers. Yeah, it's gonna hit you to get your heartstrings. About a father that had issues with alcoholism. Is out of the picture, then tries to enter back into this man's life who has moved on. He's an amazing artist now. Again, like I said, semi-based on Titus's life, and it'll hit you. And if you've gone through a lot of different things, it just kind of you can kind of live through the character and kind of maybe also answer certain questions you have about letting people back into your life and how you want to deal with things. But it hit me with this one. But again, outstanding work. Titus Kafar, writer director. I'll have an interview up on the channel very soon. This week, as of this recording, I had the pleasure of speaking with him. I also spoke with Andre Holland, who essentially plays Titus's part in this, along with John Earl Jelks, who plays the father of that comes back into the picture. So I spoke with those two gentlemen. I also spoke with Andra Day, who plays the wife, who not only plays the wife, but also sings that beautiful song that you heard in the trailer called Bricks. Such a great interview with all of them and just such great performers. But just bring a box of tissues. That's all I got to say. But a beautiful film, well-shot film, very important film. What do you think of this one? I know you probably don't like a lot of crying dramas there, Heather.
I know. I love a good drama.
Okay.
One of the great things about what we do is we get to experience a lot of different stuff. Is there a benefit? We get to watch a lot of nerdy shit like you and I like to watch. Absolutely. Do we get some good horrors? But
yeah,
good horror is hard to come by, and most of the time you want bad horror because that's the good shit. But the problem with some of these movies, I shouldn't say problem, you have to be in an emotional state to accept them.
Yes.
Where this movie will hit the hardest is going to be in a place that a lot of people cannot just walk into the theater. This is something that you have to be prepared for. You need to know that you are going to be emotionally connected to this film. And it doesn't have to be, I'm going to use this as to kind of lighten the mood a little bit. Daddy issues. It doesn't have to be daddy issues. It can be anything. I mean, like where I could feel it is my mother and I have a very tumultuous relationship, and that's something that it takes a lot for me and her to really connect. And letting yourself accept certain things, letting yourself forgive certain things is a lot harder than just moving on and considering it not there. So, and it could be anything. It's maybe you have alcohol issues, maybe you have drug issues, and you need to accept who you are. This movie looks beautiful. It looks very caring. It looks very supportive. It looks very healing. I mean, and that's one of the great things about art is that you can use it to heal yourself. It doesn't necessarily need to heal other people. And this looks like it was something that he needed to create, to tell his story and to get through his traumas. And that's beautiful. But what I will say is you have to be in the correct mental state. And as someone who has experienced severe parental traumas, I would not be able to just walk into a theater to watch this. I'd have to prepare myself. I'd have to get ready. And that's we've talked about how trailers can be absolutely detrimental to a movie experience because sometimes they just shatter everything. At the same time, this is also a perfect example of why trailers are so important. If I hadn't watched this trailer and I had just walked in, I think I might have turned off, like if from a streaming perspective, I probably would have just turned off this movie at some point because it would hurt too much, like going into it blind.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well said. Well said. Definitely need to be ready. Because of the nature of the work we do a lot of times, whoa, you never know. But it'll hit you. But then I also think that's the power of it. But I completely agree with what you're saying. And sometimes you just need that punch to the chest, to the stomach to remind you that you still feel. And then there's also things you need to work out. And yeah, beautiful film and well said, Heather. And I'm about to hit you one more time in the feels, Heather, with another pick. I'm only giving 3 this week. So that's why maybe I should have put another positive one at the end, but an A24 is bringing us to the next one. And again, I'm hitting you with feels because this one deals with cancer. What the fuck? I'm hitting us all in the emotions today. This one's We Live in Time with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh.
There is something that your daddy and I...
There's something that Mummy and me want to...
We want to talk to you about. It's a bit serious, though.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for this a while ago.
What's happened to my underwear?
Oh, I literally have no idea.
So sorry, but do we know each other?
Yeah, no. I ran you over. Sorry.
I was so startled at that moment watching this movie. I was like, "Oh shit!" Everybody looked at me. I was like,
you have the time
I get startled with shit like that.
Hi.
Hi. Probably ought to get going.
Who says? Unless you have shit to do, then.
I have nothing. Whether we like it or not, clock is ticking.
What's the rush?
Because I'm worried that there's a very distinct and real possibility that I am about to fall in love with you.
I'm okay. It's okay, honestly. It's okay not to be okay. It's a lot.
Hit me where the heart is. I want to feel where the new start is. This is real. Show me how to love you. Tell me how to hold you. I'll be for you.
I'm not interested in a treatment that accidentally wastes our time.
Why are you taking the risk?
I can't bear the thought of being forgotten.
Show me how to
I am guilty of looking ahead instead of right in front of me. At you.
Is it? I'm fine to walk, honestly.
This is ridiculous. Sorry, okay. You okay?
All right, We Live in Time. Again, like I said, it's going to tug at the heartstrings. But there's a little bit more comedy in this one as compared to Exhibiting Forgiveness. You will be laughing. There are some hilarious moments in this, but again, keep the tissue box ready. What do you think of this one, Heather? Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh, Black Widow, Spider-Man, getting down, having a baby, and then fighting cancer.
I mean, they are two of the horriest characters, and I mean, she's not playing the Black Widow, but you know, it's anyway, making Marvel jokes. It looks cute. It's definitely interesting. There's a lot of these medical romance kind of movies that have come out, and they're always kind of 50-50 because they always seem to underplay the importance and how difficult it is to actually experience some of these medical treatments. So I always feel, I know that's not the point, but it's one of those where it's like there's a certain level where it's like you don't get the full impact, and I feel like it doesn't do the health community always the best. But with that being said, it looks very cute. Story about two people falling in love and having life and life happening to them. It looks very cute. And Pugh is probably, I'm pretty sure that woman is one of the busiest people in Hollywood at this point. I don't know if she's stopped making movies in like 6 years.
She stay working. She do.
But I also love Andrew Garfield. I think he's great. He's actually a great comedic actor. So
so charming in this one. Very charming.
He seems like it. And so not going to knock it until I see it. Might not be one of those films that I'm running to, but it's definitely a fun film. I bet it's a good, Friday night movie. It looked like a good, date night movie. So
I would say so. Yeah. I wasn't exactly running to this film, but through the work we do, we got a chance to screen it. And, I thought it was just a very sweet, tender film that just makes you think about life and, the ones we have in our lives and making the most of those times that we have, with the ones we love and care about. So yeah, just a very sweet, tender film. That just makes you again reflect on your life, and it's so very important when we live in such busy times and we're always go this. So We Live in Time. And also another thing that it always breaks me, that statement, it's okay to not be okay.
Yes,
it's such
important.
Such an important phrase, and yeah, just wanted to echo that again because that almost hit me again. I can't lie, it makes me cry every time, and I feel it, because it's so important because we're running at 100 and with everything we're doing, and so sometimes you just got to be reminded of that fact. So anyway, let me get off that before I start bawling and feeling all the emotions and everything. And people aren't here for this; they're here to hear our picks. So Smile 2, Exhibiting Forgiveness, and We Live in Time. Where do we rate on the thumbs up meter, Heather?
I'm thinking that it's I'm gonna give it a 3/4, and honestly I'm going to say it's actually more Smile than the other two. I Smile, I got my skepticals on. It looks like it's a good concept, but the idea of just constantly making franchises is also becoming boring. And it's sometimes letting a good thing lie is just great. The other two look very interesting. They look very sweet. They look very caring. Not the right season for them to come out, but that's just a personal opinion. But
there's more December films
good.
where we are family, or November, Thanksgiving, November, December. Put those family feels with
where
that.
You're supposed to be. I don't celebrate it, but a lot of people do that thankful holiday. By the way, happy Indigenous Peoples Day. It's actually Indigenous Peoples Day this year. So screw that asshole who killed millions of innocent people in the Caribbean. But anyway, I think it's a good week. It's going to be a heavy hitting week. Lots of emotional things happening all at once.
Definitely. All right, there you go. Those are the picks. Go check out Heather's great interviews that are going to be popping up for the film that drops this week, Die Alone. So check those interviews out. Beyond Black Beauty, Heather has that interview. That series is premiering on Prime Video this week. I will have the Exhibiting Forgiveness interviews. We'll have the 7 Cemeteries interviews coming up from these recent drops. There's a lot coming on the channel. And last but not least, Heather and I will have the latest episode of our reviews of Agatha All Along, which we're getting record our latest episode right after we're done with this. So go check out all of our previous recordings. We're about to now do this one, but there you go. Those are our picks. If you want to talk about all things in entertainment, hit us up in the comments below, y'all. Heather Hurt, your boy QP. All right, boom.